Some of you may have been around on this channel long enough to remember this guy. This is R.L. Paul, who was not very happy with me when I made a video about his discoveries. By the way, he's since done another rebuttal of that video, I think about a year later, which we do need to have a look at. But for now, he has a new channel where he's claiming that UFOs commit crimes. I'm very interested in this one. Here we go. Hello all and welcome along to another episode of Tinfoil Tuesday with me, Simon Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. Right, on with today's video, which comes from a channel called The Sky Files. I like what he's done there. But the particular video we're looking at today talks about UFO crimes. Very, very interesting, and you may not be surprised to hear, all of you, that I of course am a skeptic regarding these sorts of things. However, the stories interest me on a human level. So let's see what this is all about. Here we go.
Welcome back to the Sky Files. This episode revolves around UFO crimes. While many have the opinion, due to mainstream media misinformation and disinformation from our very government, that UFOs present no clear and present danger to the public, they are being misled. Okay, this is a massive claim straight off the bat. UFOs are, of course, unidentified flying objects. That's what the acronym stands for. And it's my belief that every single one either has a human origin and explanation or an explainable natural one. What I am 99.9% convinced of is that they are not aliens. One of the ways that the government has shown complicity of UFO crimes is through covering them up, ignoring them, or denying their existence. The truth is far more unsettling than many would like to admit. However, the evidence is obvious, even if the solution is not. The truth. UFOs are dangerous and have allegedly performed many acts which human beings consider to be criminal and even barbaric against ourselves as well as other creatures on the planet.
Now, I would really love to see your evidence for this, my friend, but I'm not sure if you have any.
Abduction. Reports have been made since time immemorial regarding aliens taking people from their cars, their homes, their very beds, in broad daylight or the middle of the night. This, in and of itself, is a crime by any human standard. Abducting humans, by any species, is wrong.
Of course, I do agree on this, absolutely. But we don't have any evidence that these are in fact aliens doing these things. Now, what I find really fascinating is the stories involving alien abductions only started mentioning the typical grey alien that we all know and understand to be an alien after such films as The Day the Earth Stood Still and Invaders from Mars. Films from the 1950s. Even in the Roswell incident in 1947, greys were not mentioned at all. In fact, since the popular portrayal of aliens in films like I mentioned there, alien abduction stories have increased each decade, peaking in the 1990s, where two key events happened. One, the fake alien autopsy video was released for Roswell, and two, the X-Files first aired. Now, can we attribute all of that to the reason for this increase? Possibly. But what we can't do is say for sure that any of these stories are true.
Assault. Some abductees have reported extremely physically and psychologically traumatizing experiences at the hands of extraterrestrials during these reported and so far ignored abduction reports.
How can we verify that any of those wounds are definitely from abductions?
I have personally received injuries at different times from my repeated abduction experiences, and so have others, and this has been recorded and is available for information to find.
Wow, okay, so R.L. Paul himself has been abducted. That's really interesting. I'd love to hear his story. Now, he does talk about it, but it is slightly graphic, so we're going to leave that for him.
In many instances, humans have had their memory either erased or tampered with in an effort for these beings to cover up their crimes. The very fact that they feel the need to erase your memory shows that what they are doing is wrong and do not wish to be recognized as the perpetrator. It's
certainly wrong in a human society, but what of an alien one? What if what they're doing is perfectly normal to them? Seems weird that they would erase our memories if they do not understand the concept of right and wrong in a human society.
It is an effort to cover up their crimes. Disappearances. There have been multiple people who have apparently been taken by these crafts and never returned. Like a gentleman named Freddie from the MUFON reports, who told a person who encountered him and the ET craft he was traveling in that he was taken by ETs and resided off-planet and didn't know exactly where.
Again, a story like this is all well and good, but we have no proof.
Carjacking, poaching humans, and stalking. Humans get pulled over on the highway or stalked by these crafts and these beings for future abductions. I have personally experienced UFOs trying to pull me over on the highway, and so have many others. Some successfully resisting, others not so lucky.
This really is fascinating to me, and of course I cannot tell you what you did or didn't see. And actually, I really would love to have a long chat with you about this.
Airline crashes and disappearances. There's a long history of UFOs encountering aircraft with varying results. Entire airplanes and their passengers have vanished without a trace. Single-pilot aircrafts have been reported as being taken over, and the pilots reported this. I have seen UFOs fly directly in the flight line of airports and Air Force bases alike, and this is a recipe for disaster.
Yes, planes do go missing from time to time, but usually the case is solved eventually. Now there's a few open cases for sure. Most famously probably the Malaysian Airlines flight that went missing in 2014. Now if you look at the story of it, you can tell that something weird was definitely going on, but parts of the plane did start to turn up eventually.
Horrific injuries and contamination. People who have gotten too close to UFOs or their inhabitants have received injuries, some even life-threatening, like the case of Travis Walton of Fire in the Sky fame, or Stephen Michalak from the famous Falcon Lake incident.
Now, I did actually look into this incident, which at first glance looks unbelievable. But as usual, with a bit of digging, you can find some flaws in the story. Look, I don't want to palm this one off as if it's just nothing. And as I said before, I really would have a chat with RL Paul about this. Perhaps we can record it and pop it on the channel. Let me know if you want to do that, if it's something you're interested in, and I'll do it. But for now, we're all done for another Tinfoil Tuesday. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of that and whether or not any of you have had any close encounters out there. Thanks so much for watching. It truly is appreciated. If you enjoyed it, consider subscribing to the channel. Hitting the thumbs up button too would be very much appreciated. And of course, sharing the video too would be fantastic. I've been Simon Dan. Have yourselves a fantastic day, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another meme debunking flat earth video. See you then.